Greed is also hindrances. One of the hindrances. It can hinder our improvement. I'll give one example. Venerable Anuruddha and Venerable Sariputta. They discuss something about the Dhamma. Venerable Anuruddha reported, I have very bright lights. I'm also practicing diligently. I cannot attain higher attainments. So at that time he was Sotapanna. That's why he said he cannot attain higher attainments. The Venerable Sariputta replied, you said you have very bright lights. That means it's a mana, pride. This is also one of the obstacles. Second one, I'm also very diligent. That means you have restlessness. That means if you are very diligent, if you have put very strong efforts, you have restlessness. That's why this is also one of the hindrances. Then you also say, then I cannot attain higher attainments. This is remorse. This is also hindrances. Okay? So that is why when you have this kind of things, just change the topic. Don't think about nimitta or any other thing. If you can keep knowing breathing, just keep knowing breathing. Okay? Sometimes expectation is also greed, hindrances. Remorse also hindrances. Pride also hindrances. That is why, although you have very subtle defilements, subtle hindrances, it can hinder your improvement. Okay? So whenever you have this kind of mindset, change the topic. Okay, go back to the meditation subject. Okay? Any other thing?
Yes. And as for diligence that you were teaching earlier, is it better to practice with strong effort to maintain equanimity feelings? Or should I have a lot of joy and excitement? So what kind of feeling should a well-trained yogi maintain and prosper in to have a maintained effort to achieve our goal?
Okay. So actually every single quality also have side effects. We must be very careful. For example, if you have very strong efforts, then it also causes restlessness. We must be very careful, right? But similarly, if you have very strong bliss, very strong peacefulness, our mind also like pleasant feeling. When your mind follow pleasant feeling too much, your effort become weaker and weaker. Okay? So that means it depends on the situation you have. There will be different way of handling. For example, sometimes you have many thoughts unknowingly. That means you have very weak efforts. You have to put a little bit more efforts to overcome it. Sometimes your mind become very blurred. Then that means you have very weak efforts. You have to make a little bit more efforts to maintain. Okay, the main thing is, if you have maintaining efforts, you can improve easily. If you try to improve too much, then it will get worse. Okay? In current situations, you try to have more maintaining efforts. That means you must have ability to maintain your concentration. If you can maintain well, you will become skillful. Then you will improve naturally. Okay? Then
Just have one more question before I can go to the other. So during the meditation retreat, if there is such a flash of thought of disrespect, it's just defilement, that just a occurrence and it disappear right away. If I don't dwell on it, then should I ask for forgiveness, or I can just note it? Because I heard one story of the past. There was this man, he looked at an arahant. He said, oh, I wish I have a wife like that, so beautiful. And suddenly he changed into a woman.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So how do we prevent ourselves from having negative thoughts or defilement thoughts toward a respected teacher or somebody with higher like virtues and things like that? Thank you, Sir.
Okay, so in this case, you can ask for forgiveness. It doesn't matter. Right? It's easier, right? So that means mentally, sure, our mind is like silly, crazy. Any negative thoughts can arise in our minds. This is the normal, right? So anyway, in your case, if you can ask for forgiveness, is good enough. You don't need to think about many other things. Okay, then any other thing?
Dạ con kính đảnh lễ ngài. Dạ con kính đảnh lễ sư phụ. Dạ hồi nãy ngài nói đó là khi mà mình bệnh á, thì mình cần tinh tấn nhiều hơn. Nhưng mà làm sao mà mình làm được như vậy? Khi mình bệnh á, thì cái tâm mình nó cũng thấy cảm như là bệnh theo. Thì con muốn hỏi ngài là làm sao để mình tách rời cái thân và cái tâm ra, để khi mình bệnh mình thấy cái thân mình bệnh thôi, nhưng mà cái tâm mình nó vẫn mạnh mẽ. Nghĩa là khi mà cũng như là khi mà bệnh hoặc là đến khi mà lúc chết á, thì mình làm sao mà mình làm được là thân đau mà tâm không đau. Dạ con cảm ơn sư phụ. Dạ.
Vanami said also, just now said, I explained we have to balance within concentration and effort. If the concentration is strong, so we need to increase our effort. So said also, but sometimes if our body is sick, so the mind also feels sick, also weak. So at that time, so how can we increase the vidya, the effort? And also at the moment of near-death moment, so how can we separate our mind and the body, even the body of pain and sickness and painful, but how can make our mind strong at the near-death moment?
Okay, in the case of the efforts, actually, as soon as your concentration becomes stronger, you must be able to maintain. It doesn't mean you have to put very strong efforts to improve, right? So maintain. I always said maintain efforts. Okay, I should say a practical approach, right? For example, your concentration becomes stronger. You have a lot of calmness, quietness, tranquility. Then, if you cannot maintain your concentrations, then you may fall asleep, or your mind become blur. That's why maintain efforts. Maintain effort means you can remind yourself to keep doing breathing. Whenever you have very strong tranquility, rapture, and joy, you must have more consistent awareness. You must have more consistent efforts. Otherwise, you cannot maintain. Okay? So in brief, if you have maintaining efforts, whatever improvements you can maintain, then gradually you will improve. Okay? Another thing is for our near-death moment. Actually, if we have habits of living with wholesome thoughts, wholesome states, we don't need to worry about near-death moments. If we have many bad habits of unwholesome speech, unwholesome thoughts, unwholesome actions, sure, it will be a little bit difficult for us. So as long as we have wholesome minds most of the time, our mind is strong enough. Okay? The next one.
Any more questions from the participants?
Yes, I just came. Actually, I want to learn this breath method, and I want to know actually, and we can pay attention to the breath in and breath out from our nostril, but my attention and more likely when I meditate and focus on my lower stomach, and I can feel the breath in and breath out there. Is that feasible?
Actually, we should follow the Pali text, right? And in Pali text it mentioned Parimukhan Satyantapitawa. Parimukhan, it should be around face, around the nostril, right? So when we talk about Parimukhan, we have two definitions. Mukha nimitta and nasikaka. Okay, for example, Parimukhan Satyantapitawa, they mention Mukha nimittewa, nasikakewa, we have this kind of statement, this kind of definition. That's why it should be around the nostril or in the upper lip, around our mouth, right? So Buddha teacher recommend to focus on the abdomen. There will be side effects when you focus on the abdomen. For example, you may be able to see the light, but you cannot see the nimitta. I come from that tradition, I know, right? Before I came to Powder, I have been in that monastery. I also focus on the abdomen. Then you can see the light, but you cannot see the nimitta. Although you meditate many months, it will be the same. But if you can focus on the breathing around the nostril, you can see the light. You can also see the nimitta. Two different effects. Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you so much. So it says that don't forget what you want to be in the near future. Don't forget what you must do to gain your aim. But I think the aim is usually imposed by society. Like we have a lot of social obligations to fulfill. So how can we really find the aim that we feel true about?
Okay. So that means time management, right? So for example, if we wish to read, we can make our time, our spare time to read. It depends on our willingness also, right? Okay. Actually, I also have many similar questions come to me. Then when I ask people, do you wish to earn money? They say yes. Do you wish to attain Nibbana? They also say yes. Question, do you prefer Nibbana or money? They may say Nibbana. But how do you share your time? How do you spend your time? Do you spend your time for money or do you spend your time for Nibbana? Right? This is a big question. Mostly, if we are interested in Nibbana, sure, we may set our time. We may schedule our time. We may manage our time for Nibbana, right? So the main thing is it depends on how you manage your time. Another thing is, if you are busy with many other daily activities, we cannot expect very high quality, right? So I have said many times to many different people, wealthy life and a peaceful life, we cannot get two things at the same time. If you wish to be wealthy, you have to be busy. If you wish to be peaceful, you must not be busy with many different things. The two different things, right? Okay, another thing is contentment. Just for surviving, if we have enough properties, is good enough. If we have contentment, we may have more spare time. Then we may have more time to meditate. Okay? It depends on how you manage your time. It's possible. Okay? I cannot know your condition. That's why I can just advise very minor things. Okay? Any other
Thank you,
question?
Sayadaw. So I have a question for the difference between, let's say, when I'm thinking about the life is short, when I'm thinking about I can die anytime, I feel the power is there that I want to work harder on the meditation, that I want to learn more about that. And I feel pretty positive in that sense. However, if I think like when I'm working, if I think this work could fail, like if I don't work hard enough, I cannot submit it on time. It seems like both have something, right? Like could be die, and then it triggers some positive thing to really push forward the efforts. And then if I focus on like the possibility of failure, they seems to be all like different goals that trigger some effort. But why the previous one lead to some positive feeling, but the later one lead to the negative feeling, like the stress?
Sure, I see. Okay. We have one saying, when you are going to earn money, you must work as if you will never die. When you are going to practice to attain Nibbana, you must practice as if you will die today or tomorrow. Okay? Two different parts. So that's why what I also say, to earn is another way. To attain Nibbana is another way. There are two different ways. We cannot use the same formula for two different ways. Okay? Anything?
Any more questions from the participant? Yes, Sarah, can we proceed to read some questions from the chat group?
Okay.
Okay.
Sayadaw. Yesterday, Sayadaw mentioned about the way to balance the 7 Bojjhanga. So when he was meditating, he tried to practice in this way. When she can know, when she can't know the breath, so she will wait at the touching point and at the same time relax the body. But when the breath becomes obvious again, then he will relax her mind and her body and try to remind herself, don't put too much efforts. She should focus comfortably. And when she can feel the body is relaxed and there is tranquility and joy, then she will remind herself he must focus onto the breath with a little bit more efforts. So he felt that he can focus on the objects, but cannot maintain for a long time, and it is not stable. In one sitting, her mind will follow the touching point or the breath, and the mind with the body have different changes. He has to continuously adjust her the way of paying attention, and sometimes she need to pay a little bit more mind efforts, but sometimes she has to relax a little bit more. So is this way of practice correct?
Okay, for about relax, if you relax too much, also not really very good, right? So we should say medium efforts. Okay, in your case, sometimes you have very sad breaths. If you're trying to know very much in detail, then you will get lost. Okay, as you say in the very beginning, sometimes when your breath disappears, you can wait on the touching point. In this case, it's okay, not really good problem. Okay, so that means you also have to save energy, more natural efforts. It will be getting better. Okay, next one.
Sayadaw, we try to follow teacher's instruction, but sometimes we may get the opposite meaning of the teacher's instruction. What's the cause and how should we do to overcome such condition? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, it depends on how you listen also, right? Another thing, maybe you may have different background knowledge. This is also one of the reasons. That's why sometimes you misunderstand something. For example, emptiness, right? Many people also talk about emptiness, but they have different meaning according to their understanding of their background. So in this case, you must learn the teacher's tradition also. For example, when teacher is talking about sutta, you must learn sutta also. If you can understand sutta properly, then you may not have this kind of misunderstanding or wrong understanding. So the main thing is, as long as it's not opposite, but not very serious opposite, it doesn't matter, right? But if totally serious, but quite opposite, so it will be very, very risky for your practice. So in this case, we should say more learning, more questioning, and you understand clearly. Okay, next one.
Next question is a Chinese question.
Sayadaw, may I ask Sayadaw, just now Sayadaw mentioned about the way leading to the Nibbana. What is the way leading to Nibbana and how to maintain herself walking in this way leading towards Nibbana?
Okay, if we summarize, the way leading to Nibbana means no Eightfold Paths, right? So if you are keep practicing the Eightfold Paths, then we can say you are leading to Nibbana. If you are practicing opposite of no Eightfold Paths, that means you are not leading to the Nibbana, going to the Nibbana. So if we summarize another way, Sila Samadhi Panya, right? If we summarize no Eightfold Paths, it can mean morality, concentration, and wisdom. As long as you are trying for these three, that means you are right. You are going to Nibbana. You are leading to Nibbana. Okay? Next one.
Next question. Wandami Sayadaw, in the teaching, did the Buddha specifically talk about cultivating integrity and honesty? Is white lies considered as musawada?
These are also common questions, right? Okay, white lie also can be considered as a musawada, but we have good intention. That's why it's not akusala, right? That means this is allowable musawada, but because of white lie, you're gonna be reborn in the hell. Okay, we call in Pali walanchaka musawada. In Pali, right? Walanchaka musawada means sometimes you are in danger. That's why you take a lie to save your life. Similarly, somebody is in danger, you save his life or her life, you may take a lie, something. In this case, it's beneficial for somebody. You can have somebody, you can save somebody's life. That's why in this case, we can say walanchaka musawada. In this kind of case, it's a allowable musawada. Okay?
The next question is a Vietnamese question.
Vietnamese Sayadaw, con kính thưa ngài Đến Mùa. So the wasa is coming, and he don't Vidusi. So the bhikkhu have to go to the place where he want to spend wasa, and Vietnamese Sayadaw. So in the Buddha teachings, there any rule and regulation about the wasa place and the suitable wasa place, and for the bhikkhu who spend wasa there, Sayadaw, any specific rule and regulation or any condition for the wasa place, Sayadaw?
Actually, as long as you have the accommodation to live, as long as you have a shelter, and we can say it's correct, it doesn't matter, right? For example, you must not live on the tree, right? You must spend wasa on the tree. This kind of things is prohibited. So there are many other places. So the main thing is, if you know good shelter, you're gonna spend wasa there. Okay, if you have good shelter, you can spend wasa there. For about other things, for example, like good friends, good teacher, all the things is for your improvement. It's not concerned with vinaya. Okay.
Sarah, we don't have any more question, and it is like 6 minutes past 8:30. So, any more question, brother?
Yes, Sayadaw, I just have one last question about a meditator that around 60 or 70 years old. How would you teach them to spend their time wisely? For example, study Dhamma, Abhidhamma, or practice more on meditation?
Okay. So for like listening to the Dhamma is possible for them also, right? If they have habit of listening to the Dhamma, learning Dhamma actually not that easy for them also. But like listening to the Dhamma, meditation, as long as they spend their time with the Dhamma is good enough, right? For example, if they have to sit very long time, sure their body is not so strong enough. So from time to time, listen to the Dhamma talk. We have many Dhamma talks in the YouTube or anywhere, right? So sometimes she can meditate, so she can set her own timetable. Then she can follow her own timetable. It will be easier for her. So if you have too much pressure, also not really very good for all people. Okay. Any other thing?
Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah, we don't have any more questions. So thank you, Sarah, for your valuable teachings today, and thank you, our interpreter Bande, for the translation. May we invite Sarah to lead us in making aspiration and sharing of merits.